akan menyaksikan pertukaran dokumen persefahaman di antara PricewaterhouseCoopers dan Halal Development Corporation Berhad. Memorandum persefahaman atau MOU ini dimeterai bagi memudahcarakan transformasi digital dalam kalangan para pemain industri halal melalui platform e-pasaran Digital Solutions yang baru dilancarkan dengan perisian bagi mempertingkatkan operasi perniagaan harian. Dan bagi menyempurnakan pertukaran dokumen persefahaman ini, majlis mempersilakan Yang Berbahagia Encik Hairul Arifin Sahari, CEO HDC, dan Yang Berbahagia Encik 𝗕𝗘𝗥𝗦𝗜𝗔𝗔𝗓, Partner Public Sector Lead PwC, untuk maju ke atas pentas. Baiklah hadirin sekalian, dengan hormatnya majlis mempersilakan Yang Berbahagia Encik Hairul Arifin mewakili HDC dan Yang Berbahagia Encik 𝗕𝗥𝗦𝗜𝗔𝗓 mewakili PwC untuk pertukaran dokumen MOU. Dipersilakan. Okey, kekal sekejap ya untuk sesi bergambar. Okey. Baiklah, sekali lagi tepukan gemuruh, demikian termeterainya persefahaman di antara HDC dan juga PwC. Sila kembali ke tempat duduk masing-masing. Baiklah, sebagai tanda kenangan, kita persilakan Yang Bahagia Encik 𝗕𝗥𝗦𝗜𝗔𝗓𝗔 untuk menyampaikan cenderamata kepada Yang Berbahagia Encik Hairul Arifin bagi memperingati hari di mana termeterainya persefahaman di antara HDC dan PwC. Sekali lagi tepukan yang gemuruh. Dan tahniah kita ucapkan kepada kedua-dua pihak, HDC dan PwC. Sekali lagi tahniah dan terima kasih diucapkan. Kita persilakan div-div kenamaan di atas pentas untuk kembali ke tempat duduk masing-masing. Dan kita terus ke acara yang seterusnya, iaitu perkongsian oleh pihak PwC. Kita persilakan Encik Yip. Did I get your name right?
All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. And Encik Hairul Arifin, CEO of HDC, the management and team of HDC, good morning, and participants. We're here, very happy to be here, and thank you for having us here. We are here to share with you some aspects of digital transformation. But before I go into that, can I quickly ask a question? How many of you are embarking or starting your journey towards digital transformation? Raise a hand. No? How many of you are concerned about digital transformation? Okay, I see very shy hand. It's okay. So allow us to share some perspectives. Who's controlling the slide? Next slide, please. So just a quick introduction. My name is Yap. I'm a partner in PwC, and I look after most things digital. And with me also with 𝗕𝗥𝗦𝗜𝗔𝗓, as you saw, he's also a colleague of mine, handling public sector clients and organizations, and with him also Arif. Next slide. So it might look a lot on the agenda, but I will go through this fairly quickly, a very light touch, to give you a flavor of what digital transformation actually is. But I'm going to do that slightly differently and talk to you about enabling digital rather than doing transformation, which can be very daunting, right? Sounds very difficult. So I'm trying to make it simpler. Next page, please. So what does digital transformation mean? Essentially, it means your organization, throughout the business process, it is digitally enabled. So this diagram just shows examples of which aspects, which areas of the business that could be supported digitally. From raw materials, procurement, to warehousing, supply chain, production itself, sales and marketing, fulfillment, storage, those kind of things. A lot of areas could be digitally supported. On the customer-facing side, there are your shop front, right? Your physical locations, your online stores, settlement of payments through, e-banking, through e-wallets, those kind of things. Those are also facilitation using digital technologies. So I'm not sure in your businesses how much of this, but this is really just to give you perspectives of where are the areas that you could consider to have digital in place. Next page. But why are we doing this? Why is it important? So we look at it as 4 dimensions. One is you want to support your businesses through digital because you want to enhance customer experience. And why is that important? You want to create stickiness with your clients. You want your customer to come back to you today, tomorrow, every day, every minute. You want your customer to remember your brand, to remember the quality of the product. So you want to enhance the experience. So how might you do that? Second one is around empowering your own people, your teams. How do you harness innovation within the organization, encourage adoption of technology, for example? So that's on the people side. Number 3 is operational efficiency. I can tell you, world's #1 most popular technology is Microsoft Excel, correct? Yes, so I see people nodding. There are a lot more than that, obviously, right? So how do you operate most efficiently as possible, use the least resources, and optimize your outputs? So this is about operational efficiencies. Cost is a concern, correct? So how do you manage costs? By using technology. And 4, you want to grow the business. You want to grow from local to global. So you want international exposure to your organization, your brand, and your products. And to some extent, your own people as well. So how do you create new business or new business models? Over the last 2 to 3 years, we have seen many organizations coping with the lockdown situation. But that also gave us an opportunity for people to actually accelerate the growth and created new business models that not only allowed the businesses to survive, but also grow in a quicker way. So digital enables that kind of thing. So I just want to go into a little bit more detail each of these 4 dimensions. Next page, please. So customer experience. When we talk about customer experience, what do you really mean? The end objective is you want to create stickiness of your existing customers. You also want to encourage new customers and make them loyal to your brand. So how do you go about it? So there are opportunities using digital or technology to have your shop front always on. So example, if you put your products online, either through your own websites or through your joining the ecosystem of, let's say, Shopee, Lazada, those kind of platforms, essentially means your shop is always on. Okay, it's always available. And because they are fairly mature platforms, it's very reliable. So it makes your products available all the time. Now, if you think about it, right, all of us are working people. So we have office hours. So during office hours, we have really limited time to do shopping physically. So how do you draw the crowd? So if you shift the buying behavior from visiting shops to visiting online shops, then the buying pattern is different. And in fact, it creates different timing for your customer experience. Right, next is personalization. Now, I remember this because it was a personal experience. I was buying a TV, okay? I know the size of my living room, and there are so many options. There are Sony, Samsung, LG, and there's so many brands. I'm okay with any brand, but my concern is what is the correct size of the TV for my living room. So I've started to visit different websites. The one website I remember because it allows me to personalize my buying experience. Why? Because the website asks me, what's the size of your living room? How high is your couch when you sit down to watch TV? Then it will recommend me the ideal screen size for my environment. So it's very highly personalized. That's why I can remember that. So if you provide that kind of personalization of the products, people will remember the brand. 2 TV later, I'm still using Samsung TV. So that immediately creates a stickiness I was talking about. And then there is support. So if you have online support capabilities to phone through chats to even artificial intelligence chatbots, you enhance the support experience. If the customer wants to give you feedback or even complain or even compliment how good your product is, you can gather that kind of data through those platforms. And empowerment, right? You empower your customers to decide when they buy, what they buy, how much they buy. So next page, please. So that's around customer experience. Now about people. I'll give you an example. Within our organization at PwC, we invested in training all 3,500 people within our office to use certain digital tools. Why? Because we think that when they know the tools, they will start to have new ideas how to do work better, how to be more efficient. And from there, we can then encourage the culture of creativity and innovation. So that's value number 1. Value number 2 is efficiency. Once they come up with certain solutions, they work faster, better, higher quality. And that's what we really want from everybody. Now, the other aspect of technology is, as you've seen in the pandemic years now, and even more important in today's world, is that the younger, okay, you're younger, your workforce tend to be from the Gen Z, is it what they call it now? What is their career preferences? They like to work where they want to work, how long they work, and when and where they work. So having the right sets of technology in place empowers the people to work when they want, where they want, as long as you can monitor the level of productivity. So in the past 2 years, there is all these concepts of working from office or WFH, work from home. We've been having discussions internally, and nowadays the concept is evolving to WFA, work from anywhere. And that's true because I sent my car to the workshop and I had to have a meeting. So I told the car service center, can you give me a meeting room? I need to work there while waiting for my car. I continue to be productive during that hours whilst waiting for my personal matters to be settled. So that's an important element to remember, right? So the enablement allows your people to continue to be productive. Previous generations very worry about what time you clock in, what time you clock out. Why is that? Why is it relevant in today's world? Just think about that, right? Next page, please. And the fourth one here is efficiency. I spoke about using your current level of resources or less resources, but in an environment where they can create better quality outputs or more outputs. So in a way, you increase opportunities for more revenue whilst maintaining same or less level of cost. That's what that's all about. Now, not only that, in today's world, there are a lot of areas that you need to comply with, right? Regulatory compliance. You need to collect a lot of data. You need to compile a lot of report for submission. You have your board of directors, you have your shareholders, or you yourself want to know how much money am I making? Where are my customer segments? Which products are selling better? Which products are not? Which one do I need to focus on certain geographical regions? Where do I want to strengthen the logistics to distribute my products? With all that, you cannot afford to spend manual time thinking about that, making those decisions. So being efficient is about collecting the right data at the right time, quickly enough so that you can make data-driven decisions. Right? You rely on data, not rely on what people are telling you necessarily. And that allows you real-time decision-making, allow you to make more efficient, which means, bottom line is this, you can bring your product, you shorten your go-to-market position. Okay, that's what it means. So that's, the other thing is human resources. I'm not sure about you whether your resources, you are facing resignations or it's harder and harder to hire good people. Now, one of the things is that if you invest in a good HR management system, you can manage that better. How do I enhance employee experience within an organization? How do you upskill them? How do you harness their areas of interest so that they become more productive and more value add for your organization? So those are a few areas I wanted to touch on. Next page, please. New business models. So this is about creating new ways of doing business, essentially, without changing the products necessarily. That's not what I mean. I mean new way of drawing new customers, new ways of creating customer loyalty. One example there I put is a freemium. Have you heard of freemium model? That means you give something for free initially, maybe for a short period of time. When that time expires, customers start paying. Or you give free products up to a certain limit, but if they want more enhancements to that, they start paying. That's an example of a freemium. The other example is I wanted to share is nowadays it's becoming more and more bigger scale is ecosystems. What I mean by ecosystems is this. You manufacture your products, you have logistics to bring your products post-production into the last mile, which is your retailers who help to distribute your products. And then from there, send to your customers. Now, if you think about that value chain, can you harness existing ecosystems at a very low-cost way to accelerate your sales? For example, sign up with Lazada, put your products on Shopee, which means you are actually harnessing an existing ecosystem. You don't have to invest a lot. Your shop is open 24/7 effectively. And through Lazada and through things like Shopee, there's already logistics to deliver your products right to the homes of your customers. So that's an example of using an ecosystem and create a new business, a new way of conducting your business. Those are some examples. I want to use Grab and Foodpanda and experience. How many of you are Grab and Foodpanda users in this room? How many of you who raise your hand, do you think they are a technology company? Yes? No? Or are they a good example of a digitally enabled business? Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, it's just a new way of doing logistics. That's what it is, right? That's what we mean digital enablement. Next page, please. Now, many businesses in the room here are from Sarawak. I just want to point out that the Sarawak Digital Economy Blueprint has got all these elements in place as well. If you look at the bottom, my left, your right, you see the enablers, infrastructure, skills, research and development, cyber security, innovation and entrepreneurship, digital and data, and finally, community digital include the ecosystem that I'm talking about. So those elements that I've all shared is also aligned to what the Sarawak government envisions as a strong digital economy. So it's not new. The question is, where is your priorities? Is it the customer side? Is it internal efficiencies? Is it logistics? Is it research and development in brand positioning, for example? So you got to pick and choose what your priorities are, but the support will be there. Next page, please.
Excuse me, Mr. Yap. We were told you only have 3 minutes left.
I'll wrap it up in 2. So why are we here as PwC? We have formed a MOU with HDC, and we want to partner HDC to support you through your journey through various ways, sharing case studies, success stories, maybe conducting workshops, those kind of examples, and we're very happy to have this strategic alliance and work with you. Hopefully, it will help you transform one way or another. Next page. So a little bit about PwC. We have Penang, Ipoh, Melaka, even Kuching. We have an office here. So do contact PwC if you need specific advisory in auditing, accounting, taxation, even digital. So we have a wide range of services. The next page, I just want to highlight from a digital perspective. When you go through a digital transformation journey, there are really 3 parts to it. One is, what is the plan? 2 is, once you've decided on the plan, how do you execute it? How do you get the right technology, whether you buy or you develop? And then how do you operate it? So at different stages, there are different needs, and that's where we can support as well. Okay, the navigate, the build, and the operate. Next page. This is one example of what we did to create a different business model. So with EFTA, we can use the QR code to see what is that. It is basically PwC's own online store where we showcase digital products for you to consider. Just linger there for 5 seconds. Some of you are pulling out the phone for the QR code. Next page. And just to give you an idea, some of those products range from accounting, tax, upskilling, cybersecurity, and also some analytics, handling data type of things. Next page. I won't go through all this. The next 2 pages are really some examples of how we have helped not only companies, but also government-related agencies on various ways, implementing solutions, upskilling. Upskilling seems to be a very big area that I think you should seriously consider, because that is the start from the ground up. As I said, the more people are familiar with digital, the higher chances they will adopt it. And when they start adopting, that's where innovation, creativity, productivity will continue to grow. Okay, so I'll leave it at that, and I will end my presentation. Thank you very much for listening.
Terima kasih kepada Encik 𝗕𝗡𝗟𝗡𝗣𝗠, partner head of digital PricewaterhouseCoopers.